You're listening to the Mind Manual Podcast, Episode 11, Discovering Your Purpose. Welcome, everyone, to today's topic on discovering your purpose. Tuning into why we're here and what it is that we're here to do with our time on Earth are some of life's really big questions that we seem to devote very little time to. Now, this may be because we think it's found outside of ourselves and we just haven't stumbled across it yet. Or we don't allow ourselves to ever really explore the question. For fear, if we acknowledged it, we might reject the life we already have. Or the fear of failing if we allowed ourselves to pursue it. The other block I think we come up against is the belief that it's actually not possible for us, whatever that is. When we filter life through a lens of inadequacy, of always looking at what we can't do, in not being able to acknowledge that we are important and feeling like we're never really good enough, we bypass the opportunity to think big about ourselves and our life. We dare not dream, for what good is it if we have already reduced ourselves? But if you were to ask it in a different way, in a perfect world where you could create your life to be and do whatever you truly desired, what would that be? It would open up your creativity to explore the things that would otherwise be off the table for you in the way that you've conditioned yourself to think. When you go to the place of where your deepest desires live and unearth the things that make you come alive, even the childish ideas that were born before you knew about doubt, and allowed yourself to pay attention to that gentle nudge, to open the door on something new, or even to the boredom you might otherwise try and distract yourself from, you just might discover there is a desire for something more, or a calling to become a greater version of who you want to be. But how many of us allow ourselves to even explore this part? I believe that when we don't honor and seek this within, we're going to notice the fallout in the form of what I like to think of as divine discontent, in feeling like there's something more that you haven't clicked into, and in having to buffer that feeling away by trying to seek out the temporary pleasure hits in the moment to distract us from an otherwise state of dissatisfaction in where our life is going or not going. But what if we understood the rules of this game are going to always be accompanied by fear when we think big or take on a new challenge? When you understand that our brains have evolved to keep our species alive and will do whatever it takes to keep you safe and out of harm's way, we can just allow the fear to be there and acknowledge that it's just doing what it's programmed to do and do it anyway. When you can rationalize the situation with your higher thinking brain, it's easier to overrule that primal instinctive part that is always on alert and will alarm you whenever you present something that moves the dial from your comfort zone or the status quo. It wants to get you back in the cave where it's safe and warm. When you understand the origin of this fear and you've assessed that you're not about to die, you can continue on and move in the direction of your true desires, despite the fear. Fear is never a reason not to do something. It's a bit like a fire alarm. It's there to alert you of a possible fire, but once you've assessed the situation, you can see that it's not a fire. It's just the toast got burnt or the kettle was left on. We need to treat the primal part of our brain with the same caution, in not believing that every alarm or alert is a fire that we need to run from. It's just the job this part of the brain has been assigned to, and it's done a great job in keeping us alive. So it's not something we want to get rid of or resist. It does need to be noted. And if the coast is clear, we need to get on with the job and just let it pass. But if you give in to the fear and the doubt and believe that you're in danger, it will paralyze you into staying right where you are, and your focus will remain on the fear and the need to extinguish it. When really, we could just bring it along as a companion for the ride, knowing nothing has gone wrong. It's just on active patrol. Too often we give up on our dreams and desires because we think that in order to move forward with something, we need to eliminate the doubt and fear. But it's all part of this human condition. And whenever we go and ask ourselves something that takes us away from what we know and what is familiar, of course it's going to respond with this protective alarm. That's what it's designed to do. We don't have to go and make that mean we shouldn't do it or that it's unsafe. When you're willing to step into your emotions and open up to feeling them without responding to them, but just observe them and the physical sensation they cause in the body, you will come to realize that they don't crush you or debilitate you. It's all the mind drama that causes that pain, of which we have control over, if we're conscious enough to choose our thoughts deliberately. When you go forth to follow your bliss, after you've allowed yourself to imagine what that could be, you start to live your life intentionally and with purpose. There's a driving force behind it, propelling you into action, propelling you out of bed for a start. And in the process, you will learn and discover so much more about yourself. It's an opportunity to reveal more of your potential and grow into your creative capacity to create your life as you want it. In order to move towards your goals, you're going to need to push through all those self-imposed limitations and question all of your beliefs. The decision to respond to your wants and desires will also lead you to an awakening of who you become in the process, because it requires so much more of you as you learn to move through life with the doubt and the fear over to the other side of possibility. To venture through to this realm doesn't mean you're no longer free from the feels of dread and danger and all the alarms that will reel us back into that cave. It just means you keep progressing through them and allow yourself to live into the experience of your future self, of what's possible in becoming a frontier of your own adventure and charting new territory as you find your own path there. It starts with desire. Then, when you add intention from the decision to respond, you will discover and grow as you navigate your way around the obstacles and challenges that will present on the path to creating that result. It's an unfolding creative process in bringing your desires into being while evolving into your next latest edition. This is not something you do from a place of proving your worthiness or even in thinking that it's better over there compared to where you are now. You want it to come from a place of passion and abundance in wanting to explore what's possible. It's a means of expanding you and your life. And if you're looking to add some spice into it, this self-discovery and development work will certainly add the zing you've been looking for, plus a good dose of meaning in case you're feeling you've missed out on that one as well. So I invite you to consider it, to contemplate it, and if you dare, to dream about what it would be like if you didn't let the fear hold you back. What would you want to bring into your life? What would you like to pursue? And what do you want your contribution to be? When you allow yourself to move from simply what is real now to what I would like to create, without there being any thought given to the how or to all the objections your mind will alert you to, you open up for creativity to flow freely without it being shut down by our own constructs that we treat as if they're concrete, where there's no way to move past them. Another reason why it might be difficult to access our own desires is because we don't believe that it matters, or more accurately, that we don't matter. Developing a strong bond and relationship with yourself will be the underpinning work we need to do to nurture and care for ourselves like we matter. And if you're interested in going deeper into this work, in being an example of what's possible, or in bringing yourself to a higher point in your evolution, you can reach out to me over at themindmanual.com. The gift of tapping into your purpose and developing this relationship with yourself will be amazing gifts you give to not only yourself, but to the world in all the different ways. So thanks for listening and have a beautiful day.